Namaskar, we meet again. Do I look serious? No, I don't think so. I'm okay. I know some people might think because we're going to have a pilgrimage, so packing and putting clothes in the bag and then trying to look at the flight schedule and all that, I must be tired. But this is a pilgrimage which can be done while still sitting at home. So there is nothing to worry. I'm actually quite happy. So let's start with the general pilgrimage. We have gone to Kailash, we have gone to Badrinath, we have gone to Kedarnath. Why do people go on a pilgrimage? I'm not talking about the inner pilgrimage as such. People go on a pilgrimage because they have information which has come from sacred books and other people, that there are some important places and shrines which are ancient. Usually they are in holy places like old temples and Himalayas, especially the Himalayas, other mountains, near the rivers and so on. So people feel that if they go there, they can cut themselves off from the ordinary day-to-day activities of life and have two ways of life. Some people want to have a darshan of the deity there. Some people want to enjoy the atmosphere and meditate perhaps spiritually. But mostly people say, you know how ordinary in the villages people say, oh, there's a whole group going to Tirupati or any one of these places on a pilgrimage. So what is the aim of the pilgrimage? Oh, we have vowed that if we are able to buy that land which is 100 acres for a cheap price, then we will come again. So we have gone there for that vow. So some people do that also as a pilgrimage. People go and shave their heads off in Tirupati. Why? Because there are good things and bad things. Hope mother-in-law will pass away soon. Govinda, or hope something else will happen. So people have various reasons. They want to fulfill their ambitions. Some people want to do good also. I want to start a school for the poor children. May God help me. But the route to that place is a pilgrimage. It's different from going to a business center or going to a picnic and so on. Unfortunately, nowadays, since the world lives on sensory enjoyments, pilgrimages have also been converted into some kind of picnics. Unfortunately, those days people used to take trouble and go with great difficulty. Today, it's become so easy. You fly into the nearest airport, catch a cab and you're there. And what are you doing? It's almost like a picnic. And when people go, usually friends go together. So it's like a friendly picnic. So all kinds of things happen. The aim of the pilgrimage, when you say pilgrim, a pilgrim is not a tourist. A pilgrim is one who is searching for spiritual upliftment. A pilgrim is one who feels that if he goes to this particular place, then he will get some kind of spiritual understanding, and this is real pilgrimage. Other pilgrimages are, I personally don't think they are important, but they have a function. Function is, suppose you are going to Kailash, example. It's an ultimate pilgrimage actually, because it's so difficult because of the loss of oxygen as you go higher and so on and so forth. If you go, what happens? You have to give up many things. You can't be as luxurious as you were before. You have to adjust your timings. Above all, you have to adjust with people. When you go to such places, when you are in difficulty, you will see how selfish people are. It comes out. They want to get the best place, other people who cares. And you can also see how there are groups within groups. How you will have 100, 200 people on a pilgrimage, there will be one small group. That group is whispering against that group. But nevertheless, it's hard work. Suppose you want to go to Kedar. Now they have made a new route. Those days we went to Gauri Kund, and from Gauri 14 kilometers. Rambara, we used to walk. That walk is a difficult walk. You're almost dead by the time you reached Kedar. Then you see the snow-clad peaks and you see the temple, and you complete rest and the mind is totally at rest. This is one of the basic reasons for a pilgrimage. Of course, there are hanger-ons who just come along just to have a good time. But generally, because when we go through this, then you realize something is happening to us. You have to adjust with other people. You can't eat the same food which you are accustomed to, and so on and so forth. So it's a penance. It's a tapasya. If you really are serious about a pilgrimage, it's a tapasya. Well, that's one kind of pilgrimage. Here, today, I would like to go into the inner pilgrimage. The pilgrimage to find the inner self. Now that pilgrimage, you don't have to go anywhere. And in this time when you're in a shut-in, it's one of the best times to start on this pilgrimage. How do you start? There are two. I'll look at it in two ways. One is the yogic way, the other is the psychological Vedantic way. First, let's deal with this, the psychological. Here, pilgrim means a person who has decided, well, I have everything in life, but I feel I'm missing something. So I have to find that thing. Then I read, I do swadhyaya, I study the textbooks, I study the teachings. I also sometimes go on a window shopping trip of different gurus and so on. And then I decide, I think this is the path for me, this is the way, let me do it. And then I start traveling. How? First I look at myself. How does a pilgrim go to a pilgrimage place? Suppose he has a bad leg, he has to use a palanquin. Suppose he can't walk, he has to use a horse. Suppose he can't eat the general food available, he has to get special food somehow. So, and if it is cold, he has to take warm clothes. So, even in the spiritual inner pilgrimage, you have to first assess yourself and say, look, I'm different from everybody else. Each person is different and individual. So what is my way of doing it? How do I prepare myself? And to prepare myself, I should know what are my handicaps. What is it that is preventing me from going into the depths of my consciousness, which is the aim of the pilgrimage. All this has to be worked out. So that is the preparation, the packing. Throw away extra luggage. You can't carry all your burden of your luggage and go up there, however good your backpack is. In fact, the word backpack I have changed to head pack. There's so much weight. So I should learn how much weight is there before I can start discarding it. Sometimes the weight comes in the form of even knowledge which we have gathered, including scriptural knowledge. I have been brought up, for instance, in a Shaivite tradition, if I'm saying, for instance. And then I'm going to Badrinath, there is this clash, Badrinarayan is Mahavishnu, I should be going to Kedar. So all this baggage has to be dropped. And when this baggage is dropped, when the mind becomes clear, then you begin your inner journey. And as the other physical pilgrimage, in the inner pilgrimage also, there are obstacles. You miss your bus sometimes, then you have to wait. Your flight, your plane is not working properly, it is not taking off today, it's going only tomorrow, you have to patiently wait. You're not getting the proper food, which means you're not getting proper inputs for the spiritual journey. Your luggage is too heavy, that means you're carrying too much. What you have gathered, all the muck, you have to throw it. So this is the preparation for the journey. And so these are the obstacles: anger, fear. Where am I going? Unknown place. It's even more difficult because when you normally go for a pilgrimage, there is a group. Here you're alone. This is an individual journey. So sometimes you're faced with fear. I don't know where I am going. There, if you have a person who has already walked on the path, who is able to talk to you and hold your hand when you're tired, not all the time, and say, okay, this is what it is, then it's a great help. That's the role of the guide. You know, every pilgrimage has a guide. So this is a guide. The guide shouldn't become so important that he takes all your money and goes home. Yeah, this is very important to note. So you face these obstacles, and the obstacles in the inner pilgrimage are your gross emotions, your anger, your impatience, the things that clog your mind and make it impure. These have to be slowly discarded, otherwise you will not be able to walk fast into this inner realm where the deity sits on the top of the mountain, because at every step you will be bogged down by the unnecessary weight of this muck that you are carrying. So you have to put the basket of cabbage which you are carrying on your head down before you swim and clear the way to the pilgrimage. This is the inner, one side of the inner. From the yogic point of view, the pilgrimage starts with raising your consciousness from the gross to the subtle. So we say in the yogic circles, in the Shivaraja Yoga circles, that Mount Kailash is here in the Sahasrara. You don't have to go here and there for that. Mount Kailash is right here. On Mount Kailash who sits Sadashiva, the Supreme Shiva, is here. And where does the pilgrim start from? From the Mooladhara, the root foundation. From there he starts, he or she. And then raising the consciousness from the gross to the subtle. Step by step, you're on a pilgrimage. You pass through, you start with one place where you are, the root foundation where you normally are, the foundation. And then you go through 5 little cities, Puras, Manipura. Pura means a city. And then you reach here. Before you reach here, you come to the Ajna. Ajna is Varanasi for us, because the Varuna river, the Ida, and the Asi river, the Pingala, cross here. So it is Varana, Asi. Varanasi is here for us. And then we go to Varanasi. So till coming to Varanasi, you are actually raising your awareness or consciousness from the gross, which is Prithvi, to still subtler, which is Apas, and then subtler still, for which you need a lot of heat, so Manipura, Agni, and then evaporated into Vayu, which is the Anahat, and then from there to the Akasha, which is in the Vishuddhi. These are the centers where you tarry a bit before you go further up. You need to stay slowly and go. It can't go at once. It's like trying to go to Kailash on one day. By the time you reach there, oxygen content is so less, you won't be able to breathe. So, go up step by step. And then from Varanasi you stand there and look up and you see Kashi Vishwanath sitting here in Kailash. It's the same thing. And then your mind, having lost its grossness and become very subtle, becomes quiet and tranquil, and then you begin to hear the chant of Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, and then as you keep on looking, you disappear, and there is only Chidananda Rupa, Shivoham, Shivoham. There is only the sound of the Shivam going on, sometimes only pure Om. So the pilgrimage starts from Prithvi, Apas, Agni, Vayu, Akasha, and beyond this is beyond Akasha. You cannot, there are no definitions to that, and the Sahasrara where sits Shiva. When that pilgrimage is done, the inner pilgrimage, believe me, the inner pilgrimage is more difficult than outer pilgrimage. If you have lots of money, you can fly in a helicopter if you want to go to Badri or Kedar. Here no helicopter can take you. There you cannot. What is that? There is one old Hindi song. What is that? I forgot now. What? Forgot. So but there, all this gadi, motor and all won't go. You have to walk, man. There is an old song. So here you have to walk. There is no way. If you have more money, who cares? Nobody cares. If you have more influence, nobody cares. You can only go according to your own quality, your own effort, and your one-pointed understanding that you have to do this pilgrimage, because it is the ultimate, the pilgrimage of all pilgrimages, for the mind to go through the different levels of consciousness and reach the subtlest level of consciousness represented in the human body here in the Sahasrara. This is the inner journey, the inner pilgrimage. And for that, you need to prepare as much or even more than you prepare for the outward pilgrimage. So, this is the journey, this is the inner pilgrimage to the inner reality, and anyone who has once gone on this pilgrimage is free forever. There is no bondage anywhere after that. You may live in the world and carry on with your whatever activities are handed over to you or given to you, but you have touched Kailash and you have come face to face with Shivam, and in the light of that, everything else, all darkness has vanished. And this is what the Vedas declared: asato ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, mrityor ma amritam gamaya. So this journey, the inner pilgrimage, is to travel from death to deathlessness, from the unreal to the real, from darkness into light. This is the inner pilgrimage. I am not discouraging you from going on outer pilgrimage. Please do, but please understand that the inner pilgrimage is the most important, and while you do your outer pilgrimage, the inner pilgrimage is also added on to it. In fact, made more important, then the outer pilgrimage becomes more effective and more useful than simply being an outer pilgrimage. Thank you very much. Namaskar.